Well, howdy, howdy. This is a special video dealing with bedwetting on both points of view, as a child who did and as a parent who had a child who did. First, I got to take a drink of my iced tea. I've had quite the eventful afternoon now. Had to call Brad home from work. I hate doing that. Nixie, our front door doesn't lock particularly well, and the mail people came, and they were all a tither. I was actually doing a video on the bedwetting, and she hit, even though the front door was locked, she hit that front door super hard, popped it open. Out she took. Charlie went with her, but Charlie comes right back. You can call him and he comes right back. She likes to play the game. But I was afraid, since we just moved, that maybe she'd get out on a busy street, hit or something, or wouldn't know her way back. I ended up calling Brad because, you know, we have just one vehicle and I can't run all over Kingdom Come. You know, I just can't. With the breathing and stuff, I'm just not able to do that. I can't move fast enough to catch up with her before she's to another spot. So I called in, we finally got her. What the game is she can't see you, then she's going to stick close to home. But if she can see you, she's going to keep going further and further. Basically, if you're chasing her, it's a big game. Now that I know that I won't, I'll just wait for her to come back. Because, yeah, I can't call Brad, keep calling Brad. Oh my God, iced tea. Homebrewed iced tea. So anyway, this has to do with the bedwetting. And everybody has different viewpoints, and all I ask is that you be respectful of my viewpoint and my experience, and I will do the same with you. But I really dislike it when I hear parents say, oh, well, you know, they're just being lazy. You know, a lot of times that's not the case. Please always check. Get your son or daughter into a urologist. Have them checked. I have been suffering since I was 6 months old with bladder and kidney infection. I've even had surgery. And as a child, I did not have an understanding mother at all, even though she knew that this was medically why I was doing this. She would do things, and I've said this in other videos, so if you've been a subscriber for a while, you might want to skip over this part. But she would do things like, she would not allow me to change my sheets, even when I wet. Now, they never bothered to put a mattress cover on my mattress. I don't know why. You know, a zippered plastic mattress cover that can be wiped off. That would have solved so many problems. Because, you know, you wet like that, you're chronic, and there was no bed pads or anything. So it soaks into the mattress. She would still insist I make my bed. And so you would pull back the covers, and it would still be cold and wet from the night before, and you would have to sleep on it, because she was only going to change those sheets once a week. And also, she did not allow me to or have me bathe in the morning at all. We just had a bathtub. So I was that child that nobody wanted to play with. First of all, I had a speech impediment because, you know, I'm partially deaf. You know, I was dyslexic and ADHD, and later on they found out I had Asperger's. So I already had those strikes, you know, kind of going against me. I was chubby, and also I was the kid that stunk. I was the kid nobody wanted to sit next to, play with, or anything, because I smell bad. They even sent me home from school twice in elementary school because I smelled so bad. And in those day and age, they didn't call your parents. They just sent you home with a note. It wasn't even a note that your parents had to sign or anything. So I just didn't go home. I just waited until, you know, I spent all day just kind of wandering neighborhoods and stuff until it was time to go home. But I knew if I showed up with that note, I would get my ass beat. I've had my face rubbed in my own urine. And it's very degrading. She would make me scrub my panties out in the toilet bowl with the ice cold water and a bar of ivory soap. I still hate ivory soap to this day. I remember the water, you know, wintertime, the water used to be so cold and stuff. She called me piss pot. She let me know how disgusted she was that I did this, even though medically there was a reason why I'm doing that. You know, once in a while my dad would sneak a pair of clean sheets in my room and help me change my bed real quick, and that was just like, heaven. I think that's why clean linens and nice linens are so important to me now still. I learned to use towels. I learned, first of all, to, if I could, like as soon as I got home from school or something, if I could close my door, I would peel those sheets back. I know, and it's just, you can't even imagine the smell. And I would use baby powder, right? And then I would try to put a towel there, and then I would put the sheet back, and then I would use another towel on top, so at least it would be kind of dry and stuff when I went to bed. You know, it was very traumatizing. You know, just, well, I know one time she got mad and hauled my mattress out into the front lawn, propped it up against a tree, of course with the stains all showing. So all the neighborhood kids who I went to school with could see it and stuff. You know, and that was nice. That was nice. I really enjoyed that, because I also had trouble controlling my bladder some in the daytime. You know, so that was hard. But usually the teacher was always very kind and would let me use the restroom right away and stuff. But okay, so you know, I finally had surgery and that got better, and you know, I didn't have infections for years and years and years until I got to be about the age range of 35, and then I started having infections again. In the meantime, you know, I got married, had a couple beautiful children, beautiful daughters, and my oldest daughter at the age of 6 months also, no, she was a year and a half old when she got her first bladder infection, and we went through the whole gamut. This is hereditary on my maternal side. Many people from grandparents, great-grandparents on down have all had trouble. Even one of my grandsons has had the same problem. And so my daughter had the same problem. I always put a mattress cover on her bed, and she always knew to come and I would check her if I got to go to the restroom at night. Well, when I did, I would check her to see if she was wet or not. Or she would come and tell me she was wet, and we would get her in the shower, and it didn't matter what time it was. And while she was showering, I would you know, strip her bed, you know, spray it and wipe it down, dry it, and then put on all new linens. And I never wanted her to feel humiliated. And it was really important to me. I never punished her for it. I never called her any names for it. It was hard enough for a child or any person psychologically. Nobody likes waking up wet. So don't think that your child is just lazy. Nobody wants to lay there in their own urine. Trust me. And so, I mean, she knew. But even then I felt bad, because this sounds funny, but it was, Beauty and the Beast had just come out, and both girls were just totally in love, you know, with all the Beauty and the Beast, the original. So they had, when income tax came, we bought them each, you know, the sheet and comforter set for their twin beds. They had bunk beds. And because we always lived in apartments until we bought the house. And I would feel bad though, because her bedding had to be washed so often that it was really faded so much quicker. But yeah, you know, I hope if anything she always remembers that you know, you need to be that we always treated her with dignity and respect, and didn't make her feel bad that she wet the bed. She couldn't help it. You know, she's a very hard sleeper like me too. And I'll be right back. Speaking of which. Okay, I'm back. I had to use the restroom myself. Water pills, don't you know? But please think about your child. Sometimes it might be a psychological reason. It's just like, for instance, a lot of times, as you guys know, a child that had been potty trained may become unpotty trained for a short amount of time when they have a new sibling. Or they may psychologically may happen because maybe there's a divorce, or death, a marriage with new kids, blended family, maybe they're being bullied. You don't know. You know, always check that. When in doubt, just go to a urologist, and they'll run the test and find out. My daughter has had to have surgery also, and even had to have surgery when she was pregnant with her child. I think it's really important that you treat everybody with dignity, including kids, because it does really scar them. I mean, and occasionally, I mean, you may have an elderly person too who is experiencing incontinence. And that happens. And, you know, they make so many products, like I said, besides the waterproof mattress covers, the bed pads, the rewashable bed pads I talk about. Like I said, I use them for all kinds of stuff. Once in a while, if I have an extremely bad infection, I will need to have one of those down. So if I do start to wet just a little bit, I can quickly get up, grab that, you know, get myself showered, and the whole gamut. You know, and that happened maybe 4 months ago for a short amount of time. And my husband's always really great about it. It's not fun, but it's not because somebody's being lazy. Spanking your child is not going to make them all of a sudden, you know, in most cases, not wet the bed. And I said in most cases, and this is just my opinion, but please think about that. I know it's frustrating. I even, you know, with my daughter sometimes would feel a little frustrated. I never let her know it, but, you know, it was always usually an extra load of laundry every day. And at that point in time, we lived in an apartment that you had to carry your laundry down, you know, a couple of flights of stairs and you know, do the point-operated washer and dryer. But we did it. We did it. No biggie. You know, took care of it. Always tried to make her feel okay about it. I hope she always remembers that. You know, but anyway, I just wanted to do a video talking about that. But maybe you would know a little bit more perspective of both sides of the coin. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. And remember, I love you guys, and I do cherish your friendship so much. And I'm so glad that we got Nixie back. Whatever happened with Nixie? Okay, Brad came home from work. She's playing this game still. And I even tried to coax her into the Jeep, like, you know, that we were going to go for an RIDE. Can't say that word or else somebody's going to go cray-cray. And we had him in the Jeep and stuff, and she wasn't buying it. Well, Brad's kind of walking around basically hurting her, you know, because she's running from him, and he's even trying to get her with treats and stuff. She comes running. I'm kind of over at this point in time sitting in the Jeep with Charlie, and I see a shadow run past my door and up the stairs, and it's Nixie. So she runs up the stairs to the front door, and then I say her name, and I start to get out, and she runs down the stairs and bolts off again. I'm like, oh my God. So I just wait. And because she's getting tired now. She runs up the stairs. She sits at the front door. I'm sweet talking her as I'm walking toward her. And she just sat there and waited till I opened that front door. She'd had it. So I think next time, like I said, next time that Brad, that she, does that, we're gonna just kind of wait it out now that we know that she's gonna stick close and not get in a street. Because it's going to be a while. We're going to have to save a couple $100 before we can do that fencing, and we have some other bills we have to take care of. And the front door doesn't latch very well, like I said. So Brad's going to stop on his way home tonight at Walmart, and the back door is the same way, and buy a couple. The one that you slide, those bolts, deadbolts. For the front and back, because I use the back door now. I'm hanging my clothes just off the railing on hangers until Brad has time to build me like a clothesline. So I'm doing that. I'm probably going to have to pull my, I don't know if it's going to rain or not. So I use that back door. So anyway, the house starting to straighten up, and that's all I got to say. So love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.